Best Buy, I think they need to share their corporate philosophy with those who haven't been to a Best Buy. So here it goes. Here's my little thoughts on Best Buy. Now, these are all my opinions. So I've been traveling and looking into what's wrong with American business and what's wrong with American government, and I'm putting together this bit of research, and I'm going to share it over the next few weeks. But so as I've been broadcasting, I decided that I needed a headset. Aaron, do you broadcast with a headset, or do you have a microphone separate from earphones?
Okay. If I'm broadcasting through the Comrex for GCN, I have a headset hooked up to a mixer, hooked up to the Comrex, hooked up to a microphone. If I'm broadcasting on Skype, then I have a headset. I have two different ways of doing it, depending on my broadcast medium.
Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm broadcasting via Skype. And believe it or not, class, where I am right now, I have to use wireless. I'm not too excited about being in a wireless Wi-Fi environment, but that's where I am. And I have an iPad that we've had for several years that was given to us, and I'm just have a headset. And let me tell you about this headset. So in order to do this, I needed a headset with an analog 3.5 millimeter plug. It goes right into the iPad. There's no way I can broadcast with an Ethernet connection with the equipment I have. I have to use a headset, and I have this little iPad with me. So I wanted to get a headset, and I thought, well, let me go look at some. So there's a Best Buy near where I am, and I traveled over to the Best Buy, and I walked in, and I was greeted by this guy with a yellow shirt at the door, and he welcomed me into Best Buy. I thought, why? That's pretty interesting. So there's a guy greeting us at the door. Why is he greeting us at the door? Well, I'll tell you why in a minute. So I looked all over the store, and I couldn't find headsets anywhere. And finally, I came upon a guy who was sitting at a computer screen and keyboard, and he was typing in. And I said, "Can you point me to the headsets?" And he said, "I'll tell you what, I'm finishing up. I'll be right with you." So he took me over to these gaming headsets. Now, these gaming headsets are these large ear cup type headsets with a boom microphone. He said they have better clarity than a traditional headset, a lesser expensive one. And he showed it to me, and he opened the package, and I said, I can't do that. I can't do that. I cannot put a set of electric green headphones on my ears because I might be going out in public, and I certainly don't want anybody to see that on me. And what I'm talking about is it's green, but it's like neon, and I didn't want any part of it. So we found a set for way less money, and it's black by a very good, reputable manufacturer. And I'll tell you the rest of the story when we come back. Aaron Dakins is with me, and we're talking about my experience in Best Buy. What's wrong with American business? So we've been talking about Best Buy, and so here's the rest of that story. So the department manager helped me pick out a headset, and I showed him exactly what I was trying to do, the connector and so forth, and how it couldn't be USB. It had to be an analog type connector, and he helped me, and we found the one that I wanted. It's by a well-known manufacturer, and they make good quality equipment. So I said to him, okay, I'd like to get this one. It was about $20. And I said, okay, so do I pay for this up front? And he said, no, we can pay for it right back here. So we went into the home theater area where there's a computer that could take my purchase, and I paid him for it. He handed me the receipt, which was probably 6 inches long or so, and I held the receipt and this headset in this clear plastic overpackaged box, and I started to walk out the door with Mrs. Finelli when we were stopped by security. And this guy in a yellow shirt that was standing at the front door when we walked in told me that he needed to see my receipt and he needed to see the product. And so I clutched my headphones in the package, against my chest as if it were a baby that were that were trying to be stolen from me. And I said, no, I'm not going to show you my headphones, and I'm not going to show you my receipt. And he said, sir, I need to see your receipt. And I said, no, this is mine. I paid for it, and I'm not going to show it to you. I'm not going to show you what's in my pockets, and I'm not going to be treated as a criminal.
Did you have poor Mrs. Finelli with you at the time?
She's used to this.
Okay. Mrs. Finelli, my heart goes out to you. I have the same problem, my end. Okay. I know, right?
Well, you know my wife.
Sometimes I think I ought to just take a roll of duct tape for one or both of us when we go out.
Well, she just stood back a couple steps, and she was watching this. So I explained, very calmly that, no, this is mine. I did not steal it, but I wasn't going to prove that I am not guilty of a crime. It didn't take long, and there was another guy that showed up with a yellow shirt. And so now we had two security guards trying to convince me that I needed to show my receipt for my purchase. And I told both of them, no, I'm not going to do that. And I said, now, doesn't that electromagnetic device that you have on either side of the door there, doesn't that register when something is not paid for? Maybe the RFID chip is not deactivated, so the alarm will go off. I said, I'm not going to leave, but I'm going to just bring this headset, and I'm going to wave it in front of these detectors. So I waved it, and I guess it was kind of a little bit of theater, and the alarm did not go off. So I said, so that didn't go off. Don't you guys have a detection for theft, like, products? And yeah. So they were now there's a quandary because they are required to check every receipt. And here they've got a customer who is not going to budge. I'm not going to let them check my receipt. And it wasn't long before there were three of them. So obviously they have a security system that lets them know when there's a problem at the door and they need assistance. So now we had not only one, two, but three people on the clock entertaining me and trying to pry my receipt from me. And I said, you know what? Are you guys going to call the cops? And they said, we don't want to do that. And I said, okay, well, I'll wait while you call them. It's okay with me if you call them. And they really didn't know what to do. So then I offered them a choice. I said, I'll tell you what. I'll show you my receipt. But here's the choice. When I show you my receipt, I am going to demand an immediate refund because you guys aren't all that nice. And I don't want to do business with you anymore because you're treating me as if I'm a criminal, and I'm not. Or I walk out the door. What would you like me to do? Pick one. Pick one. When we come back, I'll tell you the rest of the story. So, class, we're doing a special on Best Buy and the treatment that I received as a former customer of Best Buy. So, these security employees from Best Buy, uniform security employees at Best Buy. There are three of them there, and they were giving me their typical treatment, maybe a little special because I refused to provide my receipt for this $20 headset. So to recap, I gave them a choice. The choice was, okay, I'll show you my receipt, but I demand an immediate refund because I don't want to do business with you guys anymore, or I just walk out the door. Pick one, and they were unable to pick one. Aaron Dakins, they could not decide.
That's a tough decision to make, Vinny. Come on. You must have at least a PhD to make that decision.
Well, here's what happened. So all of a sudden, I said, why don't you call, which one of you guys is in charge? Are you in charge? Who's in charge? 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Who's who? And they wouldn't tell me that. So I said, well, why don't you get the store manager? And they said, we've been trying to get him, and he doesn't answer, the page. So, okay. Finally, he shows up. and he says, he looks at all of us, the three security guys and me standing by the front door. Obviously, people are watching this, and it's not a good image for Best Buy to be causing a problem, because I don't really look like a thug. And Mrs. Finelli was there, and she doesn't look like one either. So he came up and he said, "Do you have a question?" He looked at me, and I said, "Oh, no, I don't have a question. I don't have any questions, but these guys think I stole this." And that's where I stopped. And he said, "Sir, you're free to go." Now, I was free to go before he said that.
Uh-huh.
So he's telling me I'm free to go. So he's treating me as if he's a cop, and I was being detained. So bear in mind, their impression was that they were detaining me.
Yep.
In Best Buy.
Yeah, but why did it take so long to get a hold of the manager? When you've got security officers asking for the manager, I would kind of maybe think that was priority. I'm just saying.
I'm just wondering what would have happened had I had my 45 on my side. Now, I didn't, because Virginia, up to that point, and I just learned that they reversed their position, the governor reversed it, would not reciprocate on the CCW from Missouri in Virginia. They don't think our training is good enough in Missouri to honor Missouri's concealed carry permits. So I did not have my 45 on my side. I don't know if that would have made a difference. I don't know if the cops would have come or what, or if they would have felt threatened. Not that I would draw my gun. I wouldn't have done that anyway. But, I just did not like the treatment that I got from Best Buy. And here's the rest of the story. I liked the guy who helped me with the headphones. And it's taking 20 to 30 minutes for me to pick out the headphones, because there's so many choices, and there's so many connectors, and frequency responses, and all kind, and price. All kinds of things went into this decision. But here's the point: it took that much time to pick a headset, and I thought this guy probably would be an asset to have on the air with us, talking about electronics, what to look for, obsolescence, planned obsolescence, all that. These warranties that you buy that are overpriced. How do you select equipment? I thought it'd be really good to have this guy on the air with me. And then after the store manager came, I said, you know what? I talked to the department manager, and I was going to have him on the air with me and talk about this. But you know what? I don't know. I don't know, because you guys aren't very nice to me. And I'm thinking, why would I want to help Best Buy when they treated me as if I'm a criminal? So the answer is, I'm not going to have him on the air. I'm not going to have Best Buy on the air. And I am a former customer of Best Buy. I forgot how miserable they were.
Now what was his response to that? Because that probably blindsided him.
Well, of course it blindsided him, and he did not have a response. But here is one other point that these store managers need to think of. They need to think about maybe their customers are people who could help them or hurt them. Okay? They probably had no idea that I would do what I just did. But I told them I was going to do it. And I'm also going to send them an email with the link to this. And if Ron Gibson puts it on YouTube, I'm going to send them that too. They need to get their act together. They need to stop treating us as if we are criminals. I mean, really. Now, here's why I think the manager came up. He looked at what I had in my hand, and he probably recognized the package. It's $19.95. He probably said, you know what? We probably paid $14 for that, maybe $12. Is it really worth the damage that this guy is going to do to us standing there in front of our other customers for something that cost us $12? And we're burning 3 salaries plus the manager's salary, 4 guys' salaries, entertaining me? Is it worth it? I think he figured he was going to cut his losses and set me free in his mind. Mm-hmm. But what happened was, the one guy, one of these security guys said, look, you don't understand. I have to check everybody's package because I have bills to pay. And I have to do this. I have to tell my boss that I inspected every package. That's what he told me.
But, Vinny, we also have this society now that shoplifting is out of control.
But I'm not doing that. I'm not shoplifting.
You're not doing it. I'm not doing it. But how do they know? Imagine all of the different types of people that get shoplifting, from the people you would assume would be shoplifting to the people that look like they drive a Rolls Royce. The drug scene is out of control. That's how they fund a lot of it, is shoplifting. Then they turn around and sell the products they shoplifted. It's a huge problem. I don't know what the answer is, except don't shop at the big box stores.
Well, I have a feeling that the reason that they have the security guard at the front door is because the employees are putting things in their friends' packages. Okay.
Could be. I think that happens at Walmart a lot.
Well, absolutely. So at the Walmart conveyor belt, they used to have the greeters, which really weren't the greeters. They were like a light-duty security system where they would kind of intimidate the people at the registers from putting those roasts and steaks and, expensive cuts of meat in the package without it being paid for. And that's what Sam's Club does. When I go through Sam's Club's exit, they want to count all the items that I have. And so I've taken on this new policy. When I go through Sam's Club, the exit, I'm inspected and detected by one of their employees, and I say, I think I have more items in my cart than I should.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
and that stops them cold. It's like, uh-oh. Now the customer's telling me that he thinks that there are more items than he paid for in there. And I say it with a straight face. And then they count, and then they count, and they count 3 times. Say, no, you're right. You've got the right number. Oh, okay, thank you so much. But I resent, just because there are shoplifters doesn't mean I'm one of them.
That's why we don't go to Walmart. I don't like being made to feel like a criminal. If I'm spending my hard-earned money in a business, I want to be treated with respect. So I just don't go there.
Okay, well, let's talk. And the reason I put up with it at Sam's Club is because I'm a member and I've agreed to that. But if I didn't agree to it at Best Buy. I have no agreement with them. I'm just some guy that walks in and buys something and walks out. But that's the last time I'm going to shop at Best Buy. And I hope Ron Gibson can put this on YouTube for us as a tribute to what happens when Vin Finelli goes to Best Buy.